Hey, what's up, YouTube, and welcome back to the Barlow Zone, home of the one and only demon hunter King Kaido himself, sent to the post-apocalyptic nuclear wasteland of Fallout. How's everybody doing today? And as promised, I got some Fallout ideas. I've been brewing on. I've been cooking, baking these ideas for a while. I finally wanted to share them, but uh, you know, to be completely upfront with everybody, as some of y'all might know, my Amazon sub is currently up right now, so I haven't been able to actually watch the last three. I believe it was six, seven, and eight. I missed out on so far. I am, as soon as it's back up, I'm gonna be diving into those. If anything I see personally changes anything, I'll be back with an update video for you guys. But just so you guys have some context real quick about I guess why I waited so long. I did want to have this video ready to go a couple days ago on Tuesday when the episode came out, right? And no shade thrown here. Since I haven't had a sub for the last few weeks, I have been relying a lot on Oxhorn. You know, I'm sure everybody is familiar with Oxhorn. Honestly, I didn't even realize I was as big a fan of Oxhorn as I am until years after the fact, right? Like one of the first ever videos on YouTube or any kind of video playing service I really became a fan of was Rafflemow by Oxhorn's old Machinima channel. So, and it was wild. Quick detour real quick. It was wild because, you know, I'll still play that every now and then. I'm a fan of the Muppets. I like all that nerdy stuff, right? Like, man, I love me some Kermit and Miss Piggy. Gonzo is my favorite, but what's his name? Not Beaker. The one that's always with Beaker. I forgot his name. Damn, it's been a while since I watched the Muppets. Maybe I should watch that one with Marshall Erickson again. Anyway, that video Rafflemout, right? I play it a lot, and I've watched all of Oxhorn's Fallout 4, Fallout 3, and Fallout New Vegas deep dives, whatever, lore playthroughs, whatever. You guys probably know what I'm talking about, right? Anyway, I watched all that. I didn't realize until one day it clicked for me. I'm like, wait, Oxhorn, isn't that was Rafflemout, Oxhorn Shorts? So I went back, I watched Rafflemout, and then I watched one of Oxhorn's videos. That's when it finally dawned on me, like, this dude has been the content creator I've been a fan of the longest. So I feel confident relying on stuff that he's saying, right? Like from his Fallout gameplay videos, he's established that he doesn't do a lot of like what I do, right? Where you get information, then you start deep diving into it, like, oh, what it might mean connected to this or what it might mean connected to that. Like he does a little bit, right? But a lot of his content is more just lore based, not really, you know, fan fiction or theory craft, anything like that. So I've been making sure I'm watching his videos. The reason this one's coming out a couple days later than I wanted to is he didn't have a video for episode 8 on Tuesday night, and it didn't get posted yesterday, at least before I went to bed. So I woke up this morning, I watched a little bit of the Dota 2 tournaments. They got Blast Slam going on, and they got Dream League anyway. Saw that he had a video, so I watched that and I'm like, heck yeah, here we go, we're going in. Full disclosure, my thoughts have really nothing to do with episodes 6, 7, and 8. If anything changes when I watch it, like I said, I'll be back. But anyway, let's go ahead and dive into it, because there's, I guess, one theory I've come across, or not come across, I don't know. I feel like I have seen it being mentioned, but I don't know if it was after the first time I mentioned it or if I mentioned it for the first time after having already come across this theory. So I'm not going to claim this one as, you know, a personal theory yet, at least, right? I'm going to have to do some research. If, you know, I dig up anything, dates, whatever, I'll leave a note up here so you guys know if it was mine or somebody else's. But beyond that, I'd like to just quickly discuss how season 2, in spite of the fact that the showrunners, the producers, the director, the writers, right, all these people told us, like, hey, we're not going to be confirming any canonical ending for Fallout New Vegas, right? They turned around, and as Oxhorn pointed out, you guys definitely go watch his video if you haven't already. Video breaking down season 2, episode 8. He mentions in there that he's noticed some things that lead to him believing that they have confirmed a canonical ending for New Vegas. But I also noticed, and I'm pretty sure this one I have come across, some other people online have also noticed, that it would seem that the show has also confirmed a canonical ending for Fallout 4, and by extension, at least narrowed down the possibilities for Fallout 3 canonical endings. So first things first, I am going to start with these canonical ending thoughts. I'd like to know what you guys think about it, and then, as always, you know how I usually do, I'll leave my theory part at the end of the video. Probably be chapter 3. So I think I'm gonna do Fallout 4 and 3 all in one little bubble, right? But anyway, let's go ahead. Chapter 1, Fallout New Vegas. Now, I'm gonna assume at least that a lot of y'all have been keeping up with Oxhorn, or I don't know if Nate's been doing any videos, but like there are some Bethesda-based and Fallout-based channels already in existence, right? So I'm sure some of y'all have already been keeping up with that. So when I say that it would seem that the canonical ending for Fallout New Vegas is the Yes Man ending, I'm gonna guess a lot of y'all kind of already know what's up. But what it came down to was there's a certain point in the quest line for the House Always Wins where you give House the platinum chip, but then you still have a mission or two of time to change that decision and decide to work with Yes Man instead of House. And from what I've gathered, I haven't actually done this ending to New Vegas. I've just watched a lot of gameplay, obviously Oxhorn, and then he mentioned it again in his video. The robot that was lying there next to House's setup or whatever, right? I did when we first saw episode 2 or 3, when we first saw that robot, it clicked for me like, hey, that's probably Yes Man. And at the time, I'm all, okay, so Yes Man's dead. But then in his breakdown of episode 8, Oxhorn reminded me that when you team up with Yes Man, he does this bit where like the Securitron kind of like conks out dead, right? But it's because Yes Man's put himself into House's setup, and he's got to do updates, all this yada yada blah blah. So that, coupled with, House is smart, man. Like I for a second, that not even this Justin Theroux version is like he's doing it justice. I'll give him that, but he's no Rene Auberjonois. Like my boy security officer Odo, him and Worf will always be my guys. So I got a special place in my heart for Rene Auberjonois. Justin Theroux's been doing all right, but anyway, to the point Oxhorn was making, right, about how the setup here at the top floor of the Lucky 38 kind of supported the idea that the Yes Man ending is the canonical ending. Beyond that, because he didn't mention this part, I did timestamp it and add it in the comments while he was talking about it. But in New Vegas, okay, so if you complete the House Always Wins and Robert House takes control of New Vegas, right, the city would not have looked like what we have seen in season 2. Most notably, that like the one thing that is kind of an unavoidable fact is if House wins and takes control of New Vegas, the streets are patrolled by Securitrons. We would have seen these robots everywhere as soon as we even started to get close to the outskirts of New Vegas. We didn't see those, so we can kind of already write off House's ending as the canonical ending, right? But more so, the NCR and the Legion. So if the NCR takes control of Hoover Dam, then New Vegas kind of becomes their FOB, I guess, like the forward operating base, the outpost number 1, the first suburb on that side of Hoover Dam. It's their base to spread it and branch out farther into the Mojave. The NCR didn't have that kind of representation in New Vegas, and in fact, in season 2, it would seem like the NCR is worse for wear. Yeah, sure, Shady Sands looked pretty nice, right? At least, up until Hank got involved. But they didn't quite look like they were prospering like one might think having clean water and electricity would do. Now, that could just be explained because the NCR was already an incredible financial ruin before the events of the second battle for Hoover Dam took place, right? So, maybe their state that we saw before the nuke that destroyed Shady Sands is just the extension of that idea that, hey, they're still making a comeback from the near economic collapse that they had due to the previous president of the NCR, right? But if the Legion takes over, then Freeside, New Vegas, everybody is subjugated, just made to do what the Legion wants. At least for a couple years, because we didn't know Caesar was going to die. And I guess the one thing to point out from episode 8 is that Macaulay Culkin did finally get his hands on Caesar's old body, right? Sorry, you guys might hear me go back and forth between Caesar and Caesar. Like, I say Caesar, the show always pronounced it Caesar, is starting to take root. I don't apologize for that. But, Macaulay Culkin finally got his hands on that note, right? And Caesar's all, YOLO, I am the only Caesar. There can be no Legion without me. And like that was hardcore. 100% within Caesar's, mentality in the game, right? So eventually, I suppose that the same thing could have played out if the Legion took control. That being said, the shambles that the Legion was presented in is reason enough for me personally to completely write off the Legion ending for New Vegas. They would have had more power, they would have had more bodies in Vegas. It looked more like a Legion camp than ruined Las Vegas. So there we go. We've written off the Legion, we've written off the NCR, and we've written off House. The only option left is Yes Man, and that was just independent. The Courier took control of things themselves. They brought down everybody else, took control of Hoover Dam and New Vegas for themselves, and then kind of bounced. How New Vegas looks in season 2 supports this idea. And, as always, I'd like to know what you guys saw. Because as I was watching Oxhorn's video, like I said, I caught some things that he didn't mention that really played into it. It didn't change the argument he was making. It just made his argument a little more sturdy, right? So, I always love to get interactions from you guys. How do you feel about the state of the Legion, NCR, and New Vegas by the end of season 2? Let's go ahead and move on to chapter 2, though, because I believe it was episode 5. Episode 4 or 5 was when it confirmed for me what the canonical ending to Fallout 4 is. And because of what that canonical ending is, we kind of have an idea, or can, start shaving things off of 3 to come down to what the canonical ending for 3 might be eventually. So chapter 2 is going to be Fallout 4 and, a smidge of Fallout 3. Anyway, because Elder Quintus identified the Commonwealth, Maxon's branch of the Brotherhood, as the most powerful version of the Brotherhood, the most powerful chapter. That's what he called it, the most powerful chapter of the Brotherhood, right? That statement speaks volumes, because there are 4 different, just like New Vegas, there are 4 different potential endings for Fallout 4. Unfortunately, none of them are like a independent Yes Man. I guess the Minutemen could kind of be. But anyway, the Minutemen is one of them, right? So you team up with an old army, a civil militia, basically, right? That has seen better times. They came across a really bad situation that just tore their ranks apart, right? And by the time you meet them, it's one Minuteman left with a handful of survivors, and they're just trying to find somewhere safe to live. Like, this one dude is just doing his best to keep these people safe, and like, they've been losing people for a while, you find out, right? So you team up with the Minutemen, you help rebuild that civil militia, you build settlements so that people can settle down, have somewhere relatively safe to sleep at night, to harvest water, to grow and harvest food, to raise Brahmin. Like, you set the Commonwealth up for success yourself. You put in all the footwork, and these people come in, settle down, and become a part of your civil militia. And in doing so, you take down the Institute. You have the option to team up with the Railroad and or the Brotherhood. Sorry, not and or, because their beef is very, very much not we are working together type stuff. And, the Institute being the big bad of Fallout 4, them being taken down by the Minutemen, yada, yada, blah, blah. Hey, you and Preston make a come up for the Commonwealth, right? Brotherhood's not in the greatest situation there, but as I mentioned, you do have the option to work with the Brotherhood when you're doing the Minutemen. And funny enough, I really wish I had some gameplay footage of this one. I'm sure you guys have already seen it though. If you do the Minutemen ending while still progressing the Brotherhood questline, Elder Maxon and some of the other higher ranking members of the Brotherhood will comment that they respect you for not putting their own people in danger and using that civil militia that you built to handle the problem for them so that they get to keep all their people. Like, that's smart. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying that the Brotherhood aren't some, P words for not getting involved. This is your battle. At least you're claiming it is. Why weren't you there? Anyway, the Brotherhood can be in good standing when you do the Minutemen ending to Fallout. Alternatively, if you do the Railroad ending, I do believe you can still work with the Minutemen. There's no like good blood or whatever, like that little interaction you get with the Brotherhood if you use the Minutemen. As far as I know, as far as I've seen, there's no like interaction like that where Desdemona or any of the Railroad personnel will comment on you using the Minutemen to take care of the job. I actually think they comment that they're mad that you didn't bring them in to get involved too, because the Railroad versus the Institute is like, that's the big one. Like, the Institute's making these intelligent, aware, I can't even call them robots, beings. Like, I'm not going to get into that one. I feel some kind of way about synthetic life that has the capability of self-awareness, but we're not going to get into that. So the Railroad and the Institute is like the big one, right? But notably, if you team up with the Railroad to do the Railroad ending to the story, which is a solid one, my personal favorite, by the way, and honestly, a huge part of that is for the military fatigues and the ballistic fiber just being way more useful to me than power armor. Anyway, if you team up with the Railroad, the Brotherhood attacks their headquarters, and then Desdemona calls to arms to have the Railroad respond and take down the Brotherhood. Like, take down the Brotherhood. Maxon dies if you team up with the Railroad. So the Commonwealth chapter is in no position to be called a powerhouse if the Railroad ending is canon. We can go ahead and write off the Railroad ending right there. And notably, if you do the evil playthrough and you team up with the Institute to do the Institute ending, which, it has its merits. You're finally reconnecting with your character's son and, having a little bit of a life with him. There is some merit outside of just wanting to do a bad guy ending or just completionist stuff. If you team up with the Institute, though, all three other factions get wiped out. The Minutemen, the Brotherhood, and the Railroad. Everybody gets wiped out. Obviously, the Brotherhood is in no position to be called a powerhouse in the Institute ending. So, because of Quintus's statement about the Brotherhood being the strongest chapter, the Commonwealth being the strongest chapter of the Brotherhood, we know that the Railroad and the Institute are non-canon. That's your just for fun playthroughs. Like that's not the actual story that Bethesda is telling, right? Because in any kind of game that has multiple versions that weave together like this, right? Even if that weaving together is partially done through a show or movie. So, because of Elder Quintus' statement about the Commonwealth being the strongest chapter of the Brotherhood, we are kind of forced to start thinking that, okay, it's got to be either the Brotherhood or the Minutemen ending. And why do I specifically think that this single statement canonizes the Brotherhood ending? Well, let's take a look at it. I guess I do have to mention one more bit from episode 8 real quick with the credit scene or whatever I guess it was at the end of episode 8, kind of alluding to Quintus either wanting Liberty Prime for himself, which I think makes sense. They just got the cold fusion. They would have unlimited power to power this thing, right? Or alternatively, he could have hunted down the schematics because he wants to know how to deactivate the Liberty Prime that Maxon already has his hands on. Because I do gotta say, like, the Pridwin isn't a strategic advantage. It seems like every chapter had at least one Pridwin of their own. Pridwin, whatever the airship is, right? I believe the Pridwin was just what the Commonwealth called their airship. They all got access to tons of power armor. They all got access to weapons. They all got access to fusion cores and old world tech. What is the balancing factor that makes the Commonwealth chapter so much stronger than all of the other chapters combined? Because you have to remember, initially they didn't want to team up with Quintus because they all figured like Maxon's stronger than all of us combined anyway. Wow, that just tripped me out. I have no idea how that jacket fell. I'm being watched by a ghost. I got a secret viewer, y'all. I got me a ghost watching. Nah, but for real, I am kind of tripping though. But yeah, you got to remember, they didn't want to team up because it seemed like they all believed that the Commonwealth was still stronger than all of them combined. So, I don't know, if you got 3 or 4 squads coming together against one, and supposedly all of these squads have the exact same gear, right? That'd be like the Packers trying to 1v4 the entire, we can't say NFC North, that's their own division. I don't know, NFC East or whatever, right? Like an entire other division in a 1v4 game. Like, they're going to get trounced. Like that's just what it is. If you have the same equipment your opponent does, but your opponent has more squads, you're outnumbered. That's just how math works. You have a Liberty Prime, chucking nukes all over the place. All of a sudden, those fusion cores and power armor and vertibirds and weapons and airships, they don't mean nothing because you got no way of taking down Liberty Prime. So, simply because Quintus said that the Commonwealth is the strongest chapter out of all the Brotherhoods, they gotta have Liberty Prime. And the only ending to Fallout 4 where they complete Liberty Prime is the Brotherhood ending. I suppose, I don't know, I guess you could finish putting it together if you take down the Institute with the Minutemen. No, because you need to have Madison Lee. You know what? I've never actually done a playthrough where I tried to see if I could set it up to where the Brotherhood could finish Liberty Prime while still choosing to end the game with the Minutemen. You guys let me know in the comments, have you done this ending? How does it play out? Are you still able to save Madison Lee while ending the game with the Minutemen? I'd love to know. You guys let me know in the comments. But this video is starting to get a little bit long. I'm going to go ahead and transition to chapter 3. Theory time, my favorite. And theory time today is concerning Wilzig, the Enclave, and Robert House. I guess I'll go over the thesis real quick, the synopsis, the TLDR, whatever you want to call it. I know I've mentioned this before, and I've had some people comment about Fallout 2, I guess, soft confirming this connection. I had a discussion with the individual. It was never resolved. You guys let me know how you feel about this, but to my understanding, since Bethesda acquired the IP rights to Fallout 1, Fallout 2, and the Fallout Bible sit in this weird pseudo-canon space where, yeah, Bethesda has confirmed some stuff from the first 2 games in the Fallout Bible, but Bethesda's also went out of their way to disassociate the franchise with certain things from that era, right? So you can't outright say Fallout 1 and Fallout 2 and the Fallout Bible are canon. There are parts of them that are canon. The show did a little bit to further the idea that more of those parts are canon, but until Bethesda, in either 76, Fallout 5, future phone game, whatever, season 3 of the show, until Bethesda declares that those things are canon, they're not. They're pseudo-canon. They could be, they might not be. You can think of it as Schrodinger's canon, for better or worse. Until Bethesda opens the box and lets us know Fallout 1, Fallout 2, and the Fallout Bible could be canon, they could not be canon. It's Schrodinger's canon in the Fallout universe. But I stated that I'm really starting to believe that Bethesda is going forward with this idea that the Enclave was in control of Vault Tech. A lot of stuff from the show really supports this. Notably, this vault for the middle managers has a lot of people who seem to be really tied to the Enclave. And then even the bit with, what's her name? I really don't like the character. I don't know. I feel like she's just not well written. The one who became the overseer, the blonde one. Anyway, because of her connection, I'm even thinking she decided to try and get in with Vault Tech because she found out that the Enclave was connected and she's got a vendetta. So, okay, Barlow, this is already in that pseudo-canon space you were talking about, right? Wilzig, just to go ahead and make sure I mention him, since I mentioned him at the start of the chapter, right? Wilzig is a big linchpin for this, and the fact he was alive 200 years before, he was alive to meet Lucy, currently. So the chances at cloning or a cryo chamber specifically for him, whatever it was, he was a brilliant man. The Enclave wanted him around. I think it goes a little bit deeper though, because of all the stuff we got with House. Now, yes, I understand. All the House stuff just happens to lie in the 3 episodes I haven't really been able to watch yet, right? And that's why, once again, a big shout out to Oxhorn, keeping me up to date on all the important stuff going on. At least, until I get the sub back. I think House is in control of the Enclave. Yeah, I know the game version, Renee himself said he never wanted to save the world. He just wanted to save New Vegas. But this is the kind of diabolical 8D chess that every incarnation of House has been alluded to playing, right? The House always wins. And with it seeming more and more like the Enclave is a big factor in whatever the story being told is, and the fact that House flashes up again. He's not dead. He came up again when Lucy and Maximus were up there at the top of the Lucky 38, right? it's got to be for something. Robert House can't win while the Enclave wins and while player characters slash Lucy slash the Ghoul slash Maximus slash the NCR get to have a good ending. All three of these can't play out. I do think season 2 did a fantastic job of wrapping House up as the big bad guy of this series. This is the guy, this is the problem that needs to be taken care of. Because even if the Enclave and House are separate, right? We'll just say I'm wrong. The Enclave is an entirely separate entity from House, right? What's the point of having House continue to be this background threat, right? Like, yeah, you know what? It could just be. I watch a lot of anime. I watch a lot of, sci-fi stuff like that. They could just be setting up the arc after the Enclave's taken care of. I'm man enough to admit when my theory has a hole in it, right? I don't think that's the case. Not because I don't think Fallout can't be a multi-decade franchise. It 100% could be. This show is fantastic. It's being done with respect and love. This show could go on. It could be perpetual, right? Like, it all comes down to when we as fans lose interest in the property, really. I don't think that's the plan. I've always said, and I've always believed, that Bethesda understands this. A good story needs a good ending. You have to tell the end to your story eventually. You can't just keep riding that cash cow until it takes a nosedive into the mud because you refuse to get off. I mean, you could, but it's going to damage your reputation as a developer. Fallout and the Elder Scrolls, I'm only mentioning them because it's another Bethesda property. They need the end of their story to be told. That doesn't have to be the end of your franchise. If it's popular enough that you could say, tell the end of your story in Fallout 5, right? And the fans are still loving it. They're all, oh man, I saw it looked like you might have been setting some up over here. Hey, what were you doing over here with the children of Adam? Like, you can continue your story after an ending is told. It just becomes a new story. So I don't know if I think Bethesda has the sack to plan that many decades ahead of time when they don't even have the sack to produce the next game in the franchise. So because of that, I really feel like this connection that House is building in the background, right? There's not been anything direct. It's just been, oh, the people House works with also just happen to be working with the Enclave. And, I'll go ahead and end it by saying this. Yes, I realize that by saying that House is in control of the Enclave, which was in control of Vault-Tec, House was selling stuff to himself. Like the what was it? The mind control chip, the cold fusion. He was selling his own tech for new tech to himself from himself. This man plays 8D chess, and I cannot wait to see where the show goes from here. As always, though, friends, I'd love to know what you guys think. Let me know in the comments. If you like this little break from One Piece, let me know with a like and or subscribe, or just throw me a little comment, a little thumbs up or something in the comments. That being said, I'm not going to stop doing all this extra. I want to be more than One Piece, so I hope you guys are along for the ride, and I hope y'all have a fantastic day. Much love, friends.